Welcome one and all. I love science, I may not be a witch, but here I am, I'm the Science Witch, and welcome to another discussion over dinner. Except today, it's more of a discussion over lunch, being it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I forgot to stir my chocolate milk. So, as you guys know, I have been doing a lot of Hamilton-related things, and actually it might be a birthday gift of mine to go to see Hamilton on Broadway this summer. But recently, I've been thinking a lot about our founding fathers and just more of the colonial times in general. And one of the things that comes to my mind quite often is how they talked, or at least how in the media they're portrayed to talk. This is annoying. So, in media, they all talk like, "Hear thee," and all that stuff. I don't even know how to really describe it without sounding like an idiot or unknowledgeable. But how much of that do you think is true? Like, I know, a lot of times I think, do they really sound like that? Did they really sound like that? I mean, if you've listened to Hamilton, or if you know anything about Hamilton at all, it's basically a rap musical, a hip-hop musical about the life of Alexander Hamilton. You know, the guy who's the face of the $10 bill and all that. Was not a president, despite what everyone seems to think. Think of it like this. In school, we're taught to write eloquently and to write with good vocabulary, sentence structure, and just to make everything sound convincing and fluent. But yet in real life, we're using all the use words like ain't or that'd and like curse words. Things that wouldn't generally be used in writing. What if they talked differently than it was written? Like, what if they did talk like how they talked in Hamilton? Like, where did all these slurs come from? Because they had to have come from somewhere. And I mean, it's not like we can trace it back to anything, because those were 200 years ago. So, like, anyone in that sort of time period is dead. It's from 200 years ago. I think the election for the second president was in 1800. So it's not like we have anything that can trace back to that to really tell. So, and I know there's historians who research this kind of stuff and are knowledgeable about this kind of thing, but that's still not certain. That's still not true, or true to say. It's theory. It's like, we never know how they really looked. There was no way to take pictures. We have no pictures, like photographic evidence, no video. There's only stuff that was ever written. And like I said, we are taught to write eloquently. So, is it really out of proportion to say that they might talk relatively? I really need to stop eating pizza rolls. These things exploded everywhere. Like, are you kidding me? Look at this. I don't think it's really out of proportion to say that these historical figures may have talked completely differently than they write. I write for my school's newspaper. I am the writer of the advice column. People send in questions and I answer them to the best of my ability. But the way I answer those is nothing like how I talk in person. I mean, like, the content is the same, but the way it's written, it's not. So, and I also think Hamilton portrayed this really well, because in the song One Last Time, George Washington tells Hamilton that he's not going to be running for president and that Thomas Jefferson stepped down. And he's like, nope, and Hamilton's all like, thank God. Bye, Jefferson. Bye, Felicia. But Washington's like, honey, he left so we can run for president. Good luck defeating you, sir. I'm not running for president. I'm sorry, what? Throughout the song, Hamilton is trying to convince Washington to run again. But Washington's like, nope, I'm not doing it. One last time, just sit down, have a drink with me, and I need you to write an address. So he goes through explaining what he wants Hamilton to say. And he's like, I want to talk about neutrality and things like that. All the while, Hamilton is taking notes and also trying to convince him to keep running. And at the end, Hamilton reads what he had written down. And what was written down was still had the same content, but was nothing like what Washington had said to him. It's all meant the same thing, but was written way, way more eloquently than it was spoken. And that was what mainly got me thinking this. I've had these in weeks. This could kind of go for all generations before recording, before video, before people were able to take videos. People's patterns of speech could be completely different than how they're portrayed now, and they probably are. The thing that sucks about doing these videos is the fact that everything I talk about we'll never know the answer to. Unless, you know, time travel does become a thing we're able to do. That'll really be the only time we'll be able to figure this kind of stuff out. Will time travel ever actually happen? Hopefully. Unless we're able to time travel, we're never going to know these things. And that's the thing that sucks about making these videos, like I said. I don't know, I always think it's kind of a fun thing to discuss and to kind of, bring it to question if other people haven't thought of it before. And I mean, this is why we have theoretical physicists and stuff like that, to prove the questioned or the unquestionable. I remind you, I would never be able to be a theoretical physicist because I am not good at science. Before you get on me about being the science witch and not being good at science, I say I love science, but I may not be a witch. I don't say I'm great at science, but I may not be a witch. So, putting that out there, not good at science, but I love it. And this is really all I got. Sorry there hasn't been a latest discussion video very recently, but this specific series isn't supposed to be a weekly thing. It's supposed to sort of be like, as these types of thoughts and things come up, that's when I will post them or record them and edit them and post them. So, yeah, that's probably why these don't come out very often. Sorry if you were expecting to see these more often. It's just, I don't really get the time to do these that often, but I do what I can. Hey, you guys have stuck around so far. Anyways, thank you guys so much for taking your time to watch this video. If you enjoyed what you saw, take a stab at that like button to let me know, and I hope to see each and every one of you sometime in the very near future. Take care of yourselves, everyone. Bye. I'm too small. Good shit here, ladies and gentlemen. Good shit.